Hey, how's it going? My name's Aaron. I'm an amateur artist who dabbles in digital art, some traditional art, things like that. And I'm making this video because I think that whenever it comes to progress or things of that nature, whenever you're learning art, trying to get better, things like that, trying to learn a new skill in it or anything else, a lot of the times it can feel discouraging. It can feel like you're not really progressing even though you're putting in time or putting in work or putting in effort. So the reason that I wanted to make this video was because I actually saw a post that someone made about how they had spent the last few months practicing and learning anatomy through a program for artists. And even though they didn't give a specific time frame, they said a few months. That even though they'd put in that time, whenever they're trying to create characters, people, draw people basically, that they were not able to do it from imagination or from memory or what have you. Said even though they're doing it in a constructive point, they're like constructing the body and then drawing the body around it. That even though they've put that time in, they've put months into anatomy, that they still can't do it, and they were getting discouraged, basically. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And it's my point was that even though they and other people, myself included, we put in this time, right? We practice, whether that be drawing what we want to draw, following specific steps that another artist has told us, different things, put in lots of practice, little bits of practice. It can definitely be frustrating whenever you're trying to learn something or you're putting in that work, putting in that practice, and you're just not seeing any results at all when it feels like it should happen. And my point and my reply to this specific thing was I think that we think of our time as, yeah, doing something for a few months. A few months is a long time, right? But if we do something for a few months, then we're suddenly going to progress. And some people will. Some people will progress more quickly than others. Some people will be better at certain things. You might be good at anatomy. You might be good at concept art. You might be better at sketching. Another person might be better at color work, color palettes, things like that. But something that happens to most people, if not everyone, is that you're going to hit something that just you're not instantly good at, and it's going to take time. Like anatomy is one that happens with a lot of people that want to make characters and people. So whenever it comes to that, you look at these professional artists, right? There's a lot of really good ones who do character design or character sketches, and you watch their videos, you watch their speed paints, you see them at a convention, you watch them, and it seems like they're a printing machine, right? That they just pump out drawing after drawing after drawing or painting after painting after painting. And they do it so quickly and so detailed and skillfully that it's like, man, you feel like you put in all this work and you're nowhere near that level, or you feel like you can't do anything close to it. And I get it, but whenever you think about it, right, you think about these people who, professional artists or people who went to school for art, have been doing it for 10 or 15 years as an adult or whatever. Um, Even though you've put in a few months, like the amount of time that you're putting in a few months, if you compare it to someone like, and I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sorry, but his name is Kim Jong Gi, maybe. So he's a really good artist who does that, who draws um, these perspective style people where they're not flat at all. Uh, they're really really interesting. If you've not seen him, you should look him up. But he can pump it out like an entire page full of things in what feels like no time at all. And when you look at someone like him, and that's the point you want to get to, right? But if you think about it, especially a professional artist, because that's who we all look at for the most part, right? Like we have peers, we'll talk to other artists who aren't professionals for sure. But whenever you look at the professionals, the famous people, um, and you try to compare your stuff to them or how you're progressing to them, and the amount of work you put in, whether you've put in like a few months, right? If you're only doing it for a few hours a day or a few hours a week for that 4 months, 3 months, whatever, and then you're expecting to get to that level, you're looking at someone who may have be a professional artist for the last 15 years and then before that was doing art for like another 10 plus years as well for some people, and then even more for people who are older. But say you're looking at someone who's been a professional artist for 10 or 15 years, right? They've been putting in that practice or even better practice, different kinds of practice for literal years. And it really adds up, especially whenever you're doing it full time as your profession. Because then it becomes not just a hobby that you do on the side or when you have time, they're doing it every day or like almost every day, multiple hours a day to get to the point that they're at. So that's basically the point that I wanted to get across was even if you're not seeing your art progress or you're not seeing it progress as quickly as you would like, you just have to keep in perspective, right? Especially whenever comparing it to other people like famous artists, that you're gonna get better. Just the more time you spend, especially if it's practicing well, practicing the right way, practicing things you're bad at, which is really important for all of us, right? Because that's how you get better at it. But as long as you're practicing and you're actually putting in time, that's the biggest thing. Put in time. And if you're doing that, you're gonna get better. You just have to keep doing it, keep at it, and we're all gonna get better, right? So I guess that's it. I'll stop rambling. That's the point I wanted to make. So thanks for watching the video. And then, in case you got to the end and you see this drawing I have up on screen, it's something I'm currently working on. I'm going to be putting up a video of just finishing it up. It'll probably just have music. It might have a voiceover. I'm unsure, but I'm gonna put it up on the channel as well. And I'd really like it if you watch that video too. So thanks. Have a great day.